Okay, in this next lesson we're going to fire up RealFlow 2013 and begin to set up our scene. Just want to go over a few basic changes in RealFlow 2013. Just a few things that we need to just talk about before we start the project. If you open up a file which is 01 blood squib start in your project directory, this is just a good starting point for the project we'll be looking at. It's only got one object in at the moment, which is just a cube that's been flattened down. Yeah, so the new RealFlow 2013 has a few excellent new features. One of them is a relationship editor. This kind of takes away exclusive links and the nodes view. I've still got the nodes view here because there's one thing they've not done yet, which is to allow interactive selecting while you're simulating. You can't do that in the exclusive view. Sorry, in the relationship editor, you can't select nodes when it's simulating, whereas in the nodes view you can select the different nodes when it's simulating to see exactly what's going on. That will probably change in future versions of RealFlow, but that's why I kind of still like to keep the nodes view open. So I have the nodes view, parameters view, and my relationship editor. Yeah, one thing you might want to do is go into your preferences on RealFlow. Depending on what operating system they're in, it's normally in the top menu. It's off screen here, but yeah, if you open your preferences up, and I just tend to put it in expert mode because that gives you less warnings, which is handy when you're doing a lot of changes. Also, it's a very good idea to yeah, save your layout as well, because once you've got a night into the sort of way of working, you know, so like, for instance, this view is quite nice for me. I just generally save it into my layouts directory. You can call it what you want, and then if you specify the actual file in the preferences here, this every time you open RealFlow up, it will open this layout, which is very handy. What else is handy? Yeah, backup. Auto backup can be very useful, and I tend to sort of reduce it to one file every hour, just as an emergency, in case, you know, RealFlow crashes out. Then you've got a backup, which is, yeah, every 60 minutes it'll give you a new backup, which can be very, very useful. Yeah, so I think that'll do for now. So what we need to do is, just before we do, you notice now, actually this is off screen, let me just move this a sec. Simulation, you've got a few options now. You've got command line, which is excellent, which basically will fire off a command line simulation outside the RealFlow application. This is kind of what you should be getting used to doing. It's about 30% faster simulation, and also it doesn't tie up your RealFlow node, so you can carry on working while you're doing a sim in the background, which is a very, very powerful feature. You go into the options. Now, you know, when you're working in a scene like this, there's a few things that can basically change the movement of the fluid, the speed of the movement, and that is the frames per second, the scene scale, and the forces. So there are three things you need to consider. For our scene, I'm just going to use frames per second of 12 because it's quite a quick sort of effect that we're after, blood exploding, so that should be good. Substeps as well. Now this is basically, you want to start off as low as you can. I mean, I would say like from 1 to 100 is a good starting point. for a, when you're setting a scene up. And then if you're finding that your sim's exploding or it's getting very noisy, you will need to increase the sub steps. This is like the sub frame calculations. And I'll go anything up to, I think 333 is the maximum, and then you can do like 100 to 333. That is that's pretty high. You wouldn't really want to do that in normal circumstances. You can go much higher as well if you're doing high viscosity fluids, but we're not dealing with that this time. So something like this for a starting point is good. So 1 to 100. Okay, so what we need to do now is we're going to import our ST. Several ways of doing it. You can go from this little drop down menu here and just do import. You notice this Apple I as well, and you can also do it from the file menu, the main file menu. You can go, which is off screen at the moment, but I think it's file. It is yeah, actually I think it's those two options now. So just this one, or the keyboard shortcut Apple I is all you need to know, to be honest. So just do that. So we want to navigate to our the directory we created at SD exports, version 4. And voila, our man is imported. You notice actually as well, I'm zooming in and out, and it's disappearing. This is the fast view mode. This is very handy for when you've got big simulations, a lot of particles in the viewport, and you want to just quickly be able to move around. To turn it on and off, it's just press F, and that'll turn it between the fast mode on and off. So I'll just turn that off for now. You've also got a grid here as well. I'm just going to it's under the menu view and then show grid. So I'll just turn that off for now. Okay, so you notice what it's brought in the camera. There's the camera. And it's brought in our man. You can actually just right click and zoom selected. There we go. And then also you can see it's brought in the cube. And now it comes apparent why we created the cube, because obviously the pivot null did not come in. It's not been imported, so it's only brought the objects in, which is exactly what we wanted, really, just to bring in all this stuff here. So we have our basic setup. What I like to do is change the shading of everything. That's the first thing I do. So for the guy, I actually want to make him wireframe. So if you select an individual object in RealFlow and press the D key, keep pressing it, you'll cycle through different view modes. So I want to put it in wireframe. That's perfect. And then this is our cube as well. We want to put him in bounding box mode. So we just select it and press D, D, and there we go. We've got bounding box mode now. Okay, so we just play the back there here, and we can see that the movement's all there, which is perfect. Okay, so that's all imported okay, and we can basically, the next lesson we'll start actually setting up all the RealFlow nodes and yeah, get the simulation going and have this guy dying in a very gruesome way. Okay, so join me for the next lesson.